Welcome to the session on MCQ solving on the topic Basic Principles in Organic Chemistry. We had already made two videos, one on reaction intermediate and on electronic effects. We shall solve problems relating to that topic, as well as I shall also solve problems on nucleophiles and electrophiles. So combining all these topics, electronic effects, nucleophiles and electrophiles, and the reaction intermediates. So let's give it a shot at the questions. First question for you on the board. NEET 2019 question. The most stable carbocation among the following is pretty simple, plain question, but the job is to find the most stable one. How do we decide on this? First, let us use the simple principle that we know already. We know that tertiary, with respect to carbocations, tertiary carbocation is more stable than secondary, then primary, then comes methyl carbocation. Then, what are the other effects that govern this carbocation stability? Plus I effect, hyperconjugation, and nonetheless the resonance effect. So always please don't stick on to the first simple rule. Use all the rules combinedly to find the exact result. Go for the first one. Let's first try to find out the nature of the carbocation, primary, secondary or tertiary. Look at this particular carbocation. It is attached to two carbons on either sides. So you can boldly say it is secondary carbocation. Come to the second example. Here again this particular carbocation is attached to two other carbons. Again this is secondary. Come to the third one. Again this is attached to two others. It is again secondary. And finally the last one. This is attached to only one other carbon. It is primary. So you see, the question isn't that pretty simple. If three options have got secondary, you know that among secondary and primary, secondary is going to be the most stable, so we don't have to consider option D. Now let us try to decide on options A, B, C. For that, let us try to use plus I effect. When you think of using plus I effect, normally you see in everywhere you see the carbocation being attached to alkyl groups, right? Be it methyl group or a tertiary butyl group or ethyl, two ethyl groups, and here one methyl and an N-propyl group. So that doesn't make much difference, but still you can even make a difference with that. But I would go to the next prominent effect, the hyperconjugative effect. Very simple. Count the number of alpha hydrogens attached to this particular carbocation. This particular carbocation, first see and first select on the alpha carbon. See, for this is my alpha carbon and this is my alpha carbon. For the second one, this and this, and for the third one, this and this. We don't have to consider the last one. So now coming to the counting of number of alpha hydrogens. So let's count. Alpha hydrogens are the hydrogens attached to the alpha carbon. So this has got 3 and this has got none. So overall this is 3 over here. For the option B, it is 2 and 2, 4 over here. For option C, it is 3 plus 2, 5. So we had discussed that greater the number of alpha hydrogens attached, greater will be the hyperconjugation effect and greater will be the stability of the carbocation. So we thus say that option C is going to be the answer. Okay. NEET 2018 question asking us about the correct order of minus I effect. Again, inductive effect we have discussed. Minus I is when the substituent is able to attract the electron pair towards itself, away from the carbon chain towards itself. Now options are given, so we only need to choose about nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine. As already discussed, minus I effect is prominently about the electronegativity of the atom. So you know, fluorine is more electronegative, then comes oxygen, then comes nitrogen. So it goes that this should be our order. So this, the other options are ruled out. because of just by electronegativity we were able to come to the options A and B. Now look at A and B. NH, the difference, only difference here is NH2 and NR2, where R is alkyl and here it is H is amine. Here this doesn't make a much larger difference because the presence of this electronegative atom alone resides on the minus I effect. So both of them, NH2 and NR2, have a lesser extent of minus I effect compared to oxygen OR. Alright, so for this question, both are the possible answers. Okay, this question from 2018 asks us about the stability of the carbocation formed. Look at all four carbocations. Here, all our earlier learned theories won't work. It is something related to electrophilic substitution that happens in aromatic systems. So, we need to know what sort of a substituent our nitro is. You know, nitro is minus R affecting group. It shows minus R effect. What is minus R? It tries to pull away the electrons of the ring towards itself, because nitro group, you know, it has got this sort of an arrangement. Yes. So it tries to pull away the electrons because you have nitrogen, you have oxygen, the most electronegative. So electrons are pulled over this side. Now, when you have drawn the kind of resonance that happens in nitrobenzene, then you would understand where the charges would fall. That is where the negative charge or where the positive charge in the ring would fall. We had already discussed it. I would quickly show you without much explanation how to draw that sort of resonance. Okay. See, this is my nitrobenzene. So this is going to pull off the electron towards itself, the oxygen. This pulls itself here and I get the first structure. And then this place gets a positive charge, the other one is negative. And similarly this goes over here. A positive charge comes over here. Now this comes over here. A positive charge over here. And finally, this again comes back to its original position and you get the first structure. The first structure takes turn after that. Now look at this. So with respect to nitro group, you know, positive charge is found at ortho and para positions. So what it's in turn, it implies that the negative charge is in the meta positions. Negative charge in the meta positions. So when I have got meta positions negatively charged, or having more electron density, my electrophile will have to go and attach the meta. That is why we say nitro is a meta-directing group. So now you see, where do you find your electrophile attaching to the meta position? Here, structure C. Directly we go for the answer, right? Because here it is in para position. Now unstable. You see, positive charge in the meta position can be very much destabilizing, because as far as resonance is concerned, the ortho and para positions are reserved for positive charge, not meta positions, right? And here you see, this is similar to our resonance structure. So you can see that your electrophile attacking at the meta position will be stable for the meta-directing group like nitro. So very easily we can give. Only thing you should know how to write, because you would have learned how to write these things. Only if a new group is given, you should decide on whether it is electron withdrawing, that is, it shows whether it shows plus R effect or minus R effect. Depending on that, you can immediately draw the resonating structures and decide on the answer. Okay, question number 4 from NEET 2017. It shall be displayed here. So please read the options. So it is like a definition, like to test the understanding of new electrophiles and nucleophiles. So the question is, the correct statement regarding the electrophile is, so option A, electrophile is negatively charged species and can form a bond by accepting a pair of electrons from another electrophile. So here they say electrophile is negatively charged and it forms a bond with another electrophile. Is this true? Like electrophile, or you know in chemistry, electrophile pairs with a nucleophile or opposite charges attract each other. So option A is ruled out. Option B you come. Electrophiles are generally neutral species and can form a bond by accepting a pair of electrons from nucleophiles. Here, this statement, it seems true. It's not false, right? It seems true. But in chemistry or in any exam or any MCQ you are trying to attempt, please make sure you go through all the options in such kind of questions, because there can be some other option that can be giving you a better answer than the previous. So please go through all of the options, then you decide on which is going to be your option. So here in your option B it says electrophiles are neutral. Yeah, they can be neutral. They say it's generally neutral and can form a bond by accepting a pair of electrons. Right? Yeah, it accepts a pair of electrons from nucleophiles. It can do that. So B can be an option. Come to option C. Electrophiles can be either neutral or positively charged species and can form a bond by accepting a pair of electrons from a nucleophile. Again nucleophile it bonds they say, and here they have the point. It can be either neutral or positively charged. So here you have to know the point. This is the difference between option B and option C. So here they have said that electrophiles can be positive or neutral. So this gives the proper and accurate definition. Okay, so we are convinced with option C. Now come to option D. Electrophile is a negatively charged species and can form a bond by accepting a pair of electrons from a nucleophile. That is again false, right? Electrophiles aren't negative, because when we write electrophile, we always write it as E+. They are positive to denote that they are positive, to denote that they are electron deficient. So they can be positively charged or they can be or they can be neutral. Like you see all Lewis acids, AlCl3, zinc chloride, FeCl2. All these are going to be electrophiles and neutral. Okay, question number 5 from 2015. Which of the following is not correct for a nucleophile? So there are 4 statements and we are asked to find the incorrect statement of all. So reading the question correctly is very important. Some people when reading quickly ignore the not and go for a wrong option and may end up confusing among the options. So please read the questions properly. Now, ammonia is a nucleophile. Yes or no? So first, what is a nucleophile? Excuse me, I have given short form notations for nucleophile just for the want of time. So ammonia is a nucleophile. Is it a nucleophile? Yes, it is, because it has got a lone pair of electrons. So it's a neutral nucleophile. It is correct. So second point, nucleophile attacks low electron density sites. Is it true that nucleophile attacks low electron density site? That's true, right? Because nucleophile pairs up with electrophile. Electrophiles are those that have low electron density, that are electron deficient. This is also true. Nucleophiles are not electron seeking. Do they want electrons? They say they do not want electrons. That's true. No, they want to go to an electron deficient place. So last one, nucleophile is a Lewis acid. When we say Lewis acid is something that is ready to accept a pair of electrons, because it is electron deficient. But nucleophiles are electron rich. They are Lewis bases. So this is a false statement and this is our option. Yes. Okay. Question from 2015. Consider the following compounds. So this is compound 1, this is compound 2 and compound 3. Hyperconjugation occurs in. We are asked to find which structures can show hyperconjugation. All these are radicals. As you can see, they have got a lone electron in them. Now for hyperconjugation, again the same thing. Find the alpha carbons, then locate the alpha hydrogens, count the number of alpha hydrogens. So this is my radical. So on either side, this carbon and this carbon are my alpha carbons. So count the alpha hydrogens. Here, there is no hydrogen because valency of carbon is 4. No hydrogen here, no hydrogen here. First one, 0. 0 alpha hydrogens. Second structure, again you see this is again a phenyl ring. What do you mean by phenyl ring? This is similar to this. There is a phenyl ring just attached to the free radical. So even here, there is no alpha hydrogen attached to the alpha carbon, 0. Come to the third structure. This is my radical. So I have to go for the next nearby positions. This one you see 1, 2, 3 bonds. So there is going to be 1 hydrogen. This here you see 1, 2, 3. Here it's going to be one hydrogen. So there are two hydrogens over here. So I am sure that hyperconjugation will occur in my third compound and not in the first and two compounds because of the absence of alpha hydrogens. So option D is the answer. Question number 6 from 2015. In which of the following compounds the CCl ionization shall give the most stable carbocation? So here it is a little, this again the same question. They are asking you this for the stability of the carbocation, but one step they want you to do to find out the carbocation yourself. So simple, you have to ionize the CCl bond. How do you ionize it? Just remove the Cl with a negative charge and see which carbon gets the positive charge because of that. It's quite a simple trial. So I remove this part, this goes with the negative. So this particular carbon directly attached to it will get the positive. So this is my carbocation. I shall remove this part for the want of testing. So we have to find which is the stable one. So I am going to make everything into carbocation and then check on which is going to be the most stable. So come to option B. This bond I cleave and I give a positive charge to my carbon. Now come to this one. I cleave this bond and give a positive charge to this carbon. Finally, I cleave this and give a positive charge. Now examine all of them. What is special about this is it is a benzylic or a benzyl carbocation. This carbocation is stabilized because of resonance. So we had discussed the effects, right? So resonance is one of the strong effects that contributes to stabilizing the carbocation. This could be stable. So let us put time in, right? But don't decide until you go through all of the options. Now come to this. What is special about this? You have a substituent, nitro group. What is it about the nitro group? Nitro group is electron withdrawing, which shows -I effect. There is no resonance here, but electron pulling happens. So this carbocation is going to be even more destabilized. So this is not our answer. We need something to stabilize it, not to destabilize it. Come to this. You have, it's a secondary carbocation, right? And it is attached to two methyl groups. So this is secondary carbocation. It is also going to be stable. Let us just have it. Okay, it is quite stable, not very much stable, quite stable. The last one, it is a tertiary carbocation. You know, tertiary is stabilized due to hyperconjugation. How many hyperconjugated structures you can give? There are 9 alpha hydrogens. So you can give 9 hyperconjugated structures. So this is going to be extremely stable. This is going to be 3 plus 3 plus 1. 7 structures, quite stable. But so comparing this and this is ignored because it is not equivalent, it's not as stable as this, right? Now there is a competition between benzylic and the tertiary carbocation. Now to deduce, benzylic carbocation is stable. But here, when you compare, here there are two factors aiding in the stability. One is one is plus I effect, the other one is hyperconjugation. And these two effects, especially when in the case of tertiary carbocation, can strengthen the resonance effect of a benzylic carbocation. So here, my answer is this. Okay, this cation is going to be more stable than my benzylic. But usually I am telling you benzylic is also stable because of resonance. Now we had seen another problem, right? Suppose you have it like this. 3-phenyl, that is tertiary phenyl group or tertiary methyl cation. Now comparing which is going to be stable, here you have to go for the answer resonance. Here tertiary phenyl is going to be stable because both are tertiary now. Now even more than hyperconjugation, the resonance, 3 resonance, that is you have 3 phenyl groups helping in the resonating, helping in the stabilizing of the carbocation. And here one thing I would like to make it clear is the whole of the stabilizing principle depends on the factor that how easily and how effectively the charge, the positive charge on the carbocation is being dispersed to the nearby atoms or groups. So how effective it is, that stable the carbocation is. Now look at the phenyl. In phenyl rings, by resonance, it is going to be completely dispersed over 3 benzene rings. So greater stability to this particular structure if you compare both of them. But here we only have This is a primary carbocation, primary benzoic. So I choose this as my most stable carbocation. 2013 question. The radical, this particular radical, the benzylic radical, is aromatic because it is aromatic, they say. And the reason is what they are asking us. Because it has 7 p orbitals and 7 unpaired electrons, or 6 p orbitals and 7 unpaired electrons. So nothing. So basically they are asking us to count the number of p orbitals and the number of unpaired electrons. And please note properly, they say it is aromatic because of how many orbitals and how many electrons. That is the question. Here, so two concepts have to be brought in here today. One is definitely about aromaticity. The other one is some knowledge about radicals. Let us see how to do that. See, first let's start with aromaticity principle. This is a radical, of course it is stable, but there is no question about stability of the radical. Only plainly about aromatic. So note the exact word asked for in the question. Aromaticity is because of the, Huckel's rule, 4n plus 2 pi electrons in the ring. The ring should be planar, cyclic, and the electron should be delocalized. There should be a conjugated system. So all of them are here. Now, do you think the ring is aromatic because of these, the pi electrons, or do you have to include this electron as well, the radical as well? So aromaticity, Huckel's rule, it says electrons, 2 electrons, 6 pi electrons, 10 pi electrons, 14 pi electrons are all going to be stable. Here there are already 6 pi electrons, and remember this electron, if you are going to take into account, it will account to 7 electrons. 7 electrons will not make it stable. Also for aromaticity, this electron is not taken into the ring for the resonance and all. So the number of unpaired electron, though this is an unpaired electron, you don't have to count this. Electrons are only in the ring. Only the ring electrons account for the aromaticity. Okay, so this part is just to confuse you regarding whether you will take that or not. So unpaired electron is 6, and how many p orbitals, it is 6, that you're very sure of. So it is 6 p orbitals and 6 unpaired electrons is the answer. This looks like a very simple answer. No, it looks simple, but the point here is they are asking you for what makes this compound aromatic. So they are trying to confuse you, giving a radical structure. Okay, fine. The last question of this session is for 2013. Arrange the following in increasing order of stability. So we are given some 5 carbocations, and we are asked to arrange them in the order of stability. See, in these kinds of questions, we should not look at the options before trying out the question, because the options might seem similar and might confuse you. So first try to derive or deduce the answer from the option and from the question, then you can go for the options. Okay, first let us try to classify it into primary, secondary, tertiary. Then if there are like 2 primary structures, 2 secondary structures, then we shall go for the counting of hyperconjugated structures. So here, this is see, there are 2 methyl groups attached to this, and here there is 1, 2, 3. This is a tertiary, and this one again tertiary. So this one 2, it's secondary, and this one primary. This one is methyl, the least stable of all the carbocations. So which is going to be my least stable? They are asking it in the increasing order. So I should start with the least stable one. I start with 5. So 5 is my least stable one. Now look where 5 is. In option A and D. So I strike options B and C. That's it. Now to decide among both of them, just see where both of them differ. See, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, and they differ in the orders of 1 and 2. So it is enough that we spend our time on deciding the stability of carbocations 1 and 2 alone. Look at the first carbocation. It is a tertiary, the second is also tertiary. Now decide on the stability. That is by counting the number of hyperconjugative structures it will get, by counting the number of alpha hydrogens present. See, this I shall count. There are 2 methyl groups, so it is 6, and here there are 2, so 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 alpha hydrogens, and this one 9 alpha hydrogens. So just a small difference in alpha hydrogens is making the second carbocation more stable than the first one. So my answer is option A, which says second carbocation is more stable than the first one. That's all. So see, I don't have to spend much time in evaluating all of the options and in evaluating all of the questions given. Okay? So hope this session was useful. Please try solving many more of such questions and keep learning organic chemistry.
Ask the atoms.